one I wanted to say before I say anything. I appreciate you with your ability with LinkedIn and connecting. And it's really helped me because a lot of things I would post, let's say on Instagram, maybe about me collecting sports cards or my love for the Green Bay Packers or constantly talking about Milwaukee. I would save that kind of for Instagram. And I started to realize that that connects with people on LinkedIn, especially.
Yep.
I've been reached out to CEOs and directors, and maybe not in my field, but hey, I didn't know you collected cards. I have such and such. Here's my memory of me and my dad going to such and such game. And so I think it gives that level of human interaction.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I think we connect and we buy from and we connect with humans more so than the businesses themselves.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's what I
I
share.
appreciate that.
Yeah, that's what I share with people all the time. A lot of people say, well, isn't LinkedIn B2B, B2C? I said, no, it's H to H. It's human to human, right? So as long as you have your human factor, you'll be able to attract people that have that same human factor. So
join me, Jeremy Swick, on Into the Unknown, a podcast that delves into the personal journeys, stories, and experiences of individuals across diverse professions. As a historian by trade, I firmly believe that our personal histories shape our present and offer valuable insights into our paths ahead. With that being said, let's get into it.
All right, peace and blessings, and welcome to another episode of YB's Collaboration Corner in conjunction with Self-Publish in 30 Days. I am your host, Rob YB Youngblood, President of Sales for Self-Publish in 30 Days, and your LinkedIn locksmith. I'm so excited to have our special guest today, Jeremy Swick, who is a historian and curator. He actually works for the Chick-fil-A College Football Hall of Fame, and so he'll get into that in a minute. And he also has a background where he's doing a tremendous amount of great work in the social media management space. So welcome to YB's Collaboration Corner. Jeremy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for having me, YB.
My pleasure, my pleasure. So Jeremy, you and I go back to being a part of a common community. Tell us what that community is and how we got connected.
Yes, we're both part of Breathe University, which was kind of the brainchild of Dr. Eric Thomas, the #1 motivational speaker. And just through that interaction and through the collaboration, really, of the Breathe University kind of platform and Facebook group, we were able to connect at this point a couple times in person, which is always great when you live all across the country. It's always great to meet people in person as well.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And the reason why I wanted you to share that is because people hear me talk about ET all the time. I'm amazed how many people don't know who Eric Thomas is, but the fact that you know who he is makes it even much more, what is it? What I want to use, more credible, more credible. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your background, and then we'll get into some of the work that you do. Tell us about your background. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so my background, I got my undergrad in history education, decided to go to grad school where I really studied public history. I was fortunate because I was ignorant. I didn't really know what I was supposed to study or really what I was supposed to do in school, to be honest. So I really just started taking and continued to take classes that I actually enjoyed. I remember as an undergrad, finally my professor and advisor stepped in and she was like, you've taken almost like over half our history credits our classes offered. And she kind of put that bug in my ear that I might want to do something with that. I think I jumped into the natural kind of track where, what are you going to do with a history degree? Teach.
Yeah.
Which I'll be honest, that was a great, incredible experience. It really helped me develop my soft people skills, being comfortable. I'll say I can speak in public, I can speak on live TV, but nothing will be more intimidating the first time you speak in front of a class of students.
Right.
Because they're usually the toughest critics. But throughout that time, I always worked with kids. I mentored kids, high school and middle school level. And I've just continued to, always have that passion of working with kids. But I ended up going in the museum field where I worked at several different museums. And currently, as you mentioned, I'm at the Chick-fil-A College Football Hall of Fame. But I've also been at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, the H.H. Bennett Historic Photography Studio in the Wisconsin Dells, and then Waconia, Minnesota at the Carver County Historical Society. So originally from Wisconsin, but lived all over the Midwest, and now I'm here in Georgia.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to tell them where you're from, man, because you have a distinct accent. You know, it's funny when I tell people they have an accent, they say, "What are you talking about?" And then when I tell them I'm from New York, they say, "Yeah, you got an accent too." So is it, we all have an accent based on where we're from. So you took that advice. So you studied that you studied what you studied in college, took the advice, got into education, and then find your way into the museum. Tell us exactly what you do currently for the Chick-fil-A Hall of Fame.
Yes, so I'm the historian, curator, are my official titles, but I do a little bit of everything from doing archival work, but also working really closely with our marketing team to handle the social media. Either it's writing the content, pulling artifacts that are interesting, exciting, engaging to not only our expert fans, but really anyone who might have an interest in college football,
Right.
which really, unlocked a lot of unique opportunities. Currently, I work a lot with our sponsorship team as well to help fulfill some of our sponsor obligations. So, for example, every Tuesday we do a sports turf tough Tuesday. I narrate the content for the I guess you could say video that goes out every Tuesday, talking about. I always try to pick a historic player from the history of college football. One of the interesting things or exciting things about that is I got to pick it. So
Ah,
this week I get to talk about someone I really enjoy and really have a passion to talk about, which makes things really exciting. And again, I think that goes back to grad school. My professor, they told me to, when I was working on my master's thesis,
mhm.
find something I was truly interested in,
Yeah,
because the biggest block for your thesis is writing.
right.
I mean, it takes almost a year in most cases in my field. I ended up writing a 120-page thesis on college football stadiums in the 1920s.
Oh,
So very,
that's amazing. That's
very
interesting. So,
extensive.
and I'm glad you mentioned that because it actually ties into the work that we do here at Self Published in 30 Days. Is find you a topic. We encourage our authors find you a topic that you're excited about and just go ahead and write about it. I think the challenge when people get writer's block is that they haven't narrowed down what they want to talk about or what they want to express. And so you've hit the nail on the head regarding that. So kudos to you. Let's transition a little bit to your other type of work now, right? So we had a conversation a few days ago, and you talked a little bit about the work that you do in the social media space. Talk a little bit about that and your company and what you do for small businesses.
Yes, the journey really goes hand in hand with that. When I was living in Minnesota, I was loving what I was doing, but in the museum field, unfortunately, with a lot of nonprofits, the money either isn't there or non-existent.
Mhm.
And I realized I had to do something to really just enjoy my job itself. And so I started really kind of, looking through and thinking about what I had interest in outside of just the museum field.
Mhm.
If with the field, a lot of it's 10-month or 15-month or 6-month positions, and then you go and find a new position.
Mhm.
I knew I could only do that so many more times before I was thinking about stepping outside the field.
Mhm.
So in 2018, I spent probably 300 hours on YouTube learning a little bit more about not just how social media works, but how I could actually use that to my advantage to generate um, monthly income to help support the museum dream.
Mhm.
And so in 2018, I created Swick Media, last name Swick, and then Media. And really, it became kind of something I had started kind of for fun. And then, throughout the last few years, I've really gotten better and more excited about it, working with several different clients. And as you mentioned, I think one of the scary aspects of a business like this is not sure who your client base is,
Right.
because, for example, I work at the College Football Hall of Fame, so we have a much larger audience, larger client base.
Yeah.
And so I was really able to start, and I started kind of, I guess you could say by accident, really working with more and more small mom and pop businesses
Mhm.
that could afford my services initially when I started. But also I just started finding, that an exciting area to work in. So
Mhm. Mhm.
between small business, startups, a couple drop shipping companies now, really just the 1 or 2 person operations that need someone to take reign of one area of their business, which typically is social media management.
Yeah, that's good. That's it. And it's definitely a need, specifically for solopreneurs, especially for authors who are just getting started that, they may be working a 9 to 5, but want to maintain their presence on social media. So let's talk about this concept of collaboration. I actually have a book coming out called Collaboration Creates Currency, and the co-authors are sharing their story as it pertains to what collaboration means to them. But what is your definition of collaboration, and what does collaboration mean to you?
So I think it's one of the most important aspects, whether you have a 9 to 5, your own business. But I really see it as the ability to work constructively with an individual or organization. That doesn't mean you say yes every time or you say no every time, but I really think it is working hand in hand with others to unite or create a shared goal.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Talk about a time that collaboration actually supported your ability to create currency.
Yes, absolutely. So I think one of the biggest things on top, I'll give you 2 examples. One's 9 to 5. Unfortunately, during the pandemic, a lot of people moved on, or we weren't able to hold on to. So it became me and one person uh, for a good couple of months of doing a little bit of literally everything from marketing to, you know, just you name it. Me and Mr. Sherrod Perry, I'll give him a shout out. We're working pretty extensively on every aspect. If more so with the social media business, it's really working with the owners or the actual business itself,
Mhm.
really to see what kind of goals they are hoping to achieve. And with them, a lot of times it's working in practical goals. Unfortunately, I can't guarantee they're going to get 20 million followers next Tuesday. So it's working with them to see kind of dissect what they're really looking for. If they're looking for volume of content, obviously I think quality is always important, but one of the things with them is working to make sure they understand that quality or what they perceive as good or bad is subjective, where you really really the audience and the potential customers are the final jury on what is good, I guess, if you will.
Okay, good, good, good. I appreciate that. But listen, as we begin to land the plane, when it comes to collaboration, who do you want to work with? When you think about collaboration, who would you want to collaborate with? Who are some people or types of people that you would want to connect with or collaborate with in this season of what you're doing?
Absolutely. For collaborative, being working collaboratively is so important. In the public history field, it's really reaching out to the top hall of fames and top museums, and I've been able to foster many of those relationships through working with the Pro Football Hall of Fame. When they had the Super Bowl here in 2018, they called me up and I helped set up their exhibit after some chaos ensued. Me and their curator were there till 4:30 in the morning, making sure we got all the exhibits set up.
Right.
So I think it's one of those, the mentality of rolling up your sleeves and working with everyone and anyone to, kind of see those shared goals. On the social media side, it's really working collaboratively with someone who's kind of farther along in my journey. Like I had mentioned, I target or end up targeting more smaller businesses.
Mhm.
It would be great to work or talk with someone who is either farther along in that sphere, and or someone who maybe they have bigger client base or they're really specific, talking to lawyer, like they run social medias for lawyers,
Yeah.
and just trying to find learn mistakes that they have made so I could potentially maybe not make them,
Hmm.
but also just any advice and tips. It's something I appreciate about myself. I think is that I'm always willing to learn and listen. I think the goal is always to try to improve and get better.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I have two final questions for you. One is a curveball, and then the last one is want you to tell us how can we connect with you, or how can folks connect with you if they see you as someone that they want to collaborate with? So my question, my curveball, get ready. Say for example, you are preparing to write your best-selling novel, right? You want to write a book. And you had the opportunity to go anywhere in the world and self-publish in 30 days. Myself, we were going to pay for it. Where would you go? Where in the world would you go to write your book? If you had a choice, if you had a choice to go anywhere in the world to write your next book, where would you go?
For me, it's funny because it's nowhere glamorous, but I definitely have a spot. It is on the second floor of McIntyre Library at the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire, which is funny because now it's a short flight, but I 100% believe that. Maybe share that with the fifth floor in the library, which was the Special Collections and Archives, where I worked. I only say that because I did write a 120-page, it felt like a novel, but on, history of the game. I think I ended up having, 400 some footnotes, an extensive bibliography, and doing a ton of primary and secondary research. So through examples and through experience, I know for a fact I could execute a book in those two spots. Because that was a great curveball, because I didn't think about that, because I thought about, tropical, something like that. But how much am I going to actually write and not explore?
I love it. You're the first one to mention like a specific landmark, and everybody has said, an island where the water's blue. Some people just said that their house. Somebody said the mountains. I had some people say Fiji, Italy, Africa. Somebody said just drop me off in Africa, anywhere in the continent. But you basically said at the University of Wisconsin on the third or fifth floor of the library. I love it. I love it. Well, listen, I'm definitely looking forward to that opportunity to see you do that. My last question is, how can people connect with you, Jeremy? If they like what they hear in terms of what you're doing as a curator, historian, or even in what you're doing with the social media management, how can people connect with you? How can they connect to collaborate?
Yeah, absolutely. I always like to preface, my door is always open. I love talking, connecting, and networking with people from all types of backgrounds and platforms and all that. I just have to say, one I wanted to say before I say anything, I appreciate you with your ability with LinkedIn and connecting, and it's really helped me, because a lot of things I would post, let's say on Instagram, maybe about me collecting sports cards, or my love for the Green Bay Packers, or constantly talking about Milwaukee. I would save that kind of for Instagram. And I started to realize that connects with people on LinkedIn, especially.
Yep.
I've been reached out to CEOs and directors, and maybe not in my field, but hey, I didn't know you collected cards. I have such and such. Here's my memory of me and my dad going to such and such game. And so I think it gives that level of human interaction.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I think we connect and we buy from and we connect with humans more so than the businesses themselves.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's what I
I
share.
appreciate that.
Yeah, that's what I share with people all the time. A lot of people say, well, isn't LinkedIn B2B, B2C? I said, no, it's H to H. It's human to human, right? So as long as you have your human factor, you'll be able to attract people that have that same human factor. So Jeremy, definitely a pleasure having you on YB's Collaboration Corner. Definitely looking forward to you, returning, and want to hear about your success stories. And I may have to contact you. I got a ton of baseball cards in my attic. I pray that they're not damaged from, stuff that we've done, but I might be sitting on a couple $1 million. So I might have to talk to you. I might have to talk to you about that. Yeah, I might have to talk to you about that. Well, listen, as we wrap up another episode of YB's Collaboration Corner as a part of Self-Publishing 30 Days, our focus is to increase the visibility, credibility, and profitability of movers and shakers. You just heard from Jeremy, who's making moves not only in the historian and curation space for various organizations, but he's making moves as a social media manager. So definitely connect with him on that. And if you are someone who has a desire to put your book out there, contact us at Self-Publishing 30 Days on all platforms. Or you can reach me directly on LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to talk to you about what it takes to become a self-published author. But in the meantime, I want you to be encouraged, be blessed, but most of all, continue to share the faith. And the way that you do that is by walking in your gift, because your gift will make room for you. We'll see you next time. Peace.
fun episode of Into the Unknown. I truly appreciate you taking the time to listen. And if it provides you any value or entertainment, I would love if you shared it with others, liked, subscribed, and really just help the podcast grow. Again, tell a friend, tell a foe, just anyone who might enjoy hearing some stories of people's own journeys and what got them to where they are today. Till next time.